Good morning, everybody. So in my last video, I showed you how to start a box stitch. And in this, I put a keychain on this one. I think I used like 6 different words other than keychain to describe this thing. But you can see I did a little bit of the stitch, so you can see how it's going to look. And now I'm going to show you how to continue this. So I said in my last video, starting this is the hardest part. Continuing this is pretty easy. So when you're looking at the top, again, you can see it kind of has a checkerboard pattern. Come on. So we've got white, pink, pink, white. And like when you start, there's one coming up, there's one going to the left. This is my left. One going down and one to the right. And that's how it should look. So every time you finish a stitch, it should make a neat square checkerboard pattern, just like that. So when you continue the stitch, what you're going to do is, and you can start with the pinks or the whites, whatever colors you use. What I mean is you can start with whichever color string you want. I'll start with the pink ones. And what you're going to do is, now if you notice here, this is the open end of the string. On the opposite side, I need like a little pencil or something I can point with. And my finger will do. So as you can see, when I take the string, if I'm going to work with this string to begin with, on the opposite side of that string is a little closed end. So here's this pink string, this little pink nub right here is part of that pink string. So when I start the stitch, I'm going to fold the pink string right over that nub, like that, straight across. You're basically just folding it back over itself, straight across. You don't, like that. You don't want it to cross over the opposite pink string like that. That's to do barrel. I'll show that that stitch in another video. You just want it to go straight across, and you want this one to come straight up. Now tell me. So that when you're done, at least that first part, you just have 2 strings that are side by side. And I said this one's easy because once you have a little bit of a nub to work with here, you can hold the strings down on the side on that nub, and it makes it a lot easier to work with. So you see, essentially I have 2 little loops. That's the side view that I'm holding side by side. And now what you're going to do is the same thing I did for the pinks, which is lay them back on top of each other. That's what you're going to do with the white strings, or the opposite strings that you have. Meaning, when I weave them, I don't want this white string. This is really hard to see because it's so small. So see how this white string is on the bottom, and this white string is a little bit above this one. So when I bring this over, I want this to stay below. I don't want this coming up like this, crossing over the other white string. This should stay on the downside. Oh, excuse me. And this should stay on the upside. So I'll start with this top one because you can see it a little better. So every time you do a stitch for box, you always go over the first string and under the second string, just like that, over and under. And you can kind of see the other opposite white bump where my fingernail is. So you're just laying that on top of itself. That's it. That's all you do. And then for the other string, same thing. Don't cross over this white one. And every time you do a stitch, I might have said this in my previous video, but it doesn't hurt to repeat this. Make sure your Gimp strings are not twisted. They should always be flat and neat. If there's a twist in it and you tighten your stitch, you're going to have a kink in your final product. That doesn't look too good. So again, over the first one, under the second one, like that. Pull it through. And before you tighten it, just make sure all your strings look nice and flat like that. You don't want it to be like, see that? You don't want that. No good. Flat. And then once you have it like that, it's pretty much not going to go anywhere. You can kind of let it go. And then when you tighten it, continue making sure they're all flat. I'm going to try to hold it so you guys can see it. And I showed you the other one. You put your thumbs between 2 opposite colored strings, the white and the pink. Grip the extra string in your fist and push your thumbs towards the stitch, and then while you're gripping it tight, wiggle it up and down, up and down, up and down. And that'll make it nice and tight. And that's how you do that. Easy. And then you just keep going until you get as long as you want, or until there's probably not that much string left, like this much. And then at the end, what you can do is, you know what, I'll show you that in another video because I don't really know. Well, thanks for tuning in.